page. And these are open-ended problems. Number 14. And number 14 says, for what value of h is 24 equals h over 10 minus 6? And some of you left it blank because you didn't know what h was. Well, it's just a matter of you reviewing your algebra skills. So let me rewrite it. 24 equals h over 10 minus 6. So you tell me, what are you supposed to do first to leave the h by itself? What do we do? Add 6. That's right. We add 6 to both sides of the equation. And that gives you 30 equals h over 10. And now what? You can cross multiply, right? It's easier to just do it like that. Put a 1 underneath and then cross multiply. So 1h is just h. And 30 times 10 is 300. And that was the answer. That was 14. Number 15. Again, you have to practice your algebra skills. And that's why you need to pass algebra before you go into geometry and algebra 2, because you need to know those skills. Well, you tell me, what are we supposed to do in this problem? What do we do?
We can switch the sign because it's negative.
Okay, so we need to get rid of the sign, this sign over here, right? So we need to distribute. We need to get rid of the parentheses, right? Then once we distribute, then Lee said we need to combine like terms after that, okay? Great, so let's go ahead and do that. So there's nothing in front of the parentheses here, so I can just, take this stuff out of the parentheses, 2a plus 3, because there's nothing in front of the parentheses. But on the second set of parentheses, this is like a -1. So -1 times 4a is -4a. -1 times -8 is +8. There you go. And then we combine the like terms. So 2a and -4a. When you combine them, -2a. A common mistake is that students want to do plus 4a. That's incorrect. Why is that? Because you're not having an equals in the middle. If you have an equals in the middle, then you change the sign to move it from left to right, right to left. But if you're within the same side, you just combine the like terms. Okay. Now, what about the +3 and the +8? How much is that?
11.
That is 11. So it's plus 11. Okay, so I'm looking for the a value. So what else? Minus 11. So -2a equals -4. Divide by -2, right? Is the next step? So negative divided by negative is what? Positive. And 4 divided by 2? That is 2. And that was the answer for number 15. So yes, you're going to have something like number 14, like number 15 for sure on the quiz, okay? So be ready for that. Number 16, okay? This is a nice problem. In number 15, it says, if x is not equal to 0, so they're saying x, you should have an answer that is not equal to 0. So what is the value of this fraction? Well, it's the quantity square. What we need to do here is we need to rewrite the problem. You have 4 times 3x times 3x, because square means 2 copies of that, divided. Another 2 copies of x here, of 2x. Now we just need to multiply. 4 times 3 is 12, times 3 is 36, right? 36, right? 3 times 3 is 9, times 4 is 36. Now what about the x's? X times x, x squared. So it's 36 x squared. Okay, and you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and, let me undo. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it just the way this is, like this right here. X times x, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. At the bottom is 2 times 2 is 4, and that is x times x, right? Like that. So can you simplify something here? Yes, what can you simplify? the x's, x divided by x is 1, x divided by x is 1, and how about 36 divided by 4? That is 9. And that was the answer. So expect something like this also on the quiz tomorrow, okay? 16. Number 17. It says, if x minus 2 is a factor of x squared minus bx plus b, where b is a constant, what is the value of x? So, I know that two factors, in this case, x minus 2 times something is supposed to be x squared minus bx plus b. So the question is, what should be the value of b? What should be this value right here? So that x minus 2 times something is equals to that. So any suggestions? See, these two numbers are supposed to be the same. The b and the b. 2? Okay, so if we try a factor to be here, in which the factor is x x minus 8,
No, I said
a, letter A, but there's no A, it's just a B. B is a constant, so it's the whole number. Okay, so if I assume that the other factor is the same one, let's use FOIL method to see if that gives us what B is supposed to be. Let's use FOIL method. Remember FOIL method? First times first, what is x times x? X squared. O stands for outer. X times negative 2? Negative 2x. Okay. I stands for inner terms. Negative 2 times x. Negative 2x. And then negative 2 times negative 2. Positive 4. And then when you combine those two terms, what would that be? Negative 2x and negative 2x? Negative 4x. So are these two numbers the same? Yes. So that's what the b would be. So how much is b? B is 4. And in this case, it was just trial and error to see, what would give you the same number when you use FOIL method. So this was a little tricky, challenging, but this is the way you can solve something like this. Okay, are there any questions?